Hello, Ted Hostick. Please tell my audience about your show, Polly is the New Monogamy.
Yeah, so Polly is a New Monogamy. It's a show about three girls exploring modern day relationships in the big city, and they all have more than one in their lives.
Okay. So, yes, the show is in the title. Polly is the New Monogamy. So, would you say polygamy works, quote unquote?
So it's not polygamy, it's not polyamory is new monogamy, it's poly is the new monogamy. So
Okay.
it's interesting because I think when people they hear the title, they think a lot of different things. So there is polyamory in the show, which is the consensual relationship between two or more people. But to me, poly, that definition,
Well,
poly, the prefix just means more than one. So
oh,
it kind of touches on non-monogamy and very and all like the gray areas of that, which I think once people watch the show, they'll think it's a lot more relatable than they may think just hearing the title. So
oh, okay.
yeah,
Um, I think polygamy is kind of more fun, but more chaotic. What do you think about that, States?
about polygamy
Yeah.
for um that's interesting. I don't know. I look, I mean, in some parts of the world, polygamy is it's a big thing.
Mm,
I I personally like for myself, like
mm,
I'm not sure about polygamy or that I would like something like that.
mm,
But I think, different dynamics work for different people.
mm.
And, especially like with polyamory, I think it just depends on the person. And I don't think that there's one it's just like with monogamy, like I don't think that works for every single person, right?
Mm.
And you can see that with like a 50% divorce rate and the amount of infidelity that's out in the world. So, you just have to look at statistics. It's not me just saying these things. It's if you look at the stats, obviously it's not it's not one fit for every single person. So.
Why don't you tell people about your character in the show?
Yeah, so I play a character named Sage Larson, and she has just moved to the city with her long-term partner, and she's an aspiring romance writer, novelist, and she's just trying to, navigate her life and relationships, and she comes across two girls, these and makes fast friends. And they're kind of going through these things within their relationships where they kind of have more than one guy on the go to try and figure out who they are and what they want. And so she kind of starts, questioning her own sexuality and her relationship and everything. So
And who are some of the other central characters of the show? Tell me a little bit about them.
yeah, so the fast friends that my character makes, Zoe Caruana, played by Anne Purview, who she's so funny. She's always like the life of the party and a little bit down on her luck, but she's just like so free spirited and then there's Ava, who's more of like that mother hen energy and
Mm.
seems like she kind of has everything together, but she's kind of secret about her private life. So definitely all different very different girls. And then there's Tommy, who's played by Bobby Del Rio, and he's plays like my character's confidant in the show. He's like the best friend. He's like one of the girls in the group, and always has a pretty truthful answer to everything that maybe everyone doesn't want to hear all the time.
So let's say you like it's a dream world. You're like the Vito Corleone of Hollywood for a bit. How long does this show run for? How many seasons would you ultimately want?
Oh man, what a great question. Um, I would love it. I just think there could be so many seasons. There's so many different places you can go with these characters and situational comedy. So I mean, I would love to do like 6 seasons would be great.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
like that. That's great. Six is good, and I find like at 5 or 6, like we're good. We get it.
Yeah, yeah, I think
Yeah,
sometimes they stretch these. I don't know about you, what you think,
yeah.
but some sitcoms, I think when they go beyond that, it starts to like, I don't know, they just go
Yeah.
a little bit too far trying to reach for stories or something. So 6 seems good.
And how long have you been working on this show? Was it a hard sell?
It's been working on for a really long time. I think I started writing it like 7 years ago. And it didn't take me that long to write, but from concept to execution, yeah, 7 years, so very long time.
You've been with it for a bit. Was there a hesitation? Were people thinking this is too risque, too scary?
I kind of felt that way. I was a little bit nervous to put it on the world because it's a topic that I think, non-monogamy, touching on that in any way, or polyamory, polygamy, whatever you want to, say about
Mhm.
these things. That's not necessarily the way the Western world was programmed. So I think bringing these things up, it can be a little nerve-wracking. But I really wanted to do that, and I think that using comedy in a way to do it, it makes it a little bit more palatable as well. So but yeah, there was definitely, I think some people made some comments like reading the drafts and stuff like that, So,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, it might people feel uncomfortable to an extent, but it is a reflection. You were talking about the divorce rate. OnlyFans is huge, so
Mhm.
it is like reflecting as much as it is commenting, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, right. I feel like it's kind of holding up a mirror to society, and sometimes it's not pretty right away, but yeah, it's good to just open up the conversation while, watching a show that I think it's still like very digestible and funny, and I think it kind of presents it in a way that's not like very in your face, I guess.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So, what do you think are some of the funniest bits in the show?
Um Uh there's so many. I really love in episode 6 the scene with the poop on the skylight. It's one of my
Okay.
favorites. Or when Anne's character Zoe gets caught, or like the goat yoga was super fun. I There's different things that I like watching as a viewer, and then the funny things that I remember filming.
Yeah.
Different experiences. Yeah. How about you? What did you enjoy?
Oh God. The vagina paintings were fun.
I think we were actually the one of our producers actually painted those, and then we had like some crew members being like, "Can I buy that?" We were gonna, yeah, we're like, "Can we put these in a museum?" I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, so I interviewed Anne Purvu a couple months ago, a few months ago, and she told me about the show. I definitely wanted to ask her about it. And so, what was it like to work with her?
Anne is such a dream. She's such a riot. Like, she's just so fun to work with, and she's very methodical as an actor. So she's like very, even though she's like fun, energy, bubbly,
Mm,
she's so intense about her craft, and she just always comes prepared, and she's got a really good like go get 'em attitude, and she was just really fun to work with, and in terms of like spicing up a scene, because in comedy, or just like in general, like, sometimes actors will want to, bring their own thing to the scene, or they want to, modify the dialogue a little bit, or modify the jokes to try and
mm.
punch it up. And she was always so good for that. So
Oh,
she brought a lot to the table, and she was a perfect Zoe. She's better than I could have ever imagined. So yeah.
that's funny because the first time I met her, I was having breakfast with her and her husband, and yeah, she had a lot of questions, and I didn't always have the answers. She is very methodical. That is very accurate.
Yeah, yeah, very methodical. Yeah, I work with some actors like that. She's definitely methodical. It's good. It's good. It means she's serious about the craft, serious about life.
Oh, yes, that is true.
Yeah.
So the show is on streaming on Hollywood Suite, correct?
Mhm.
Eh,
Yes. So
Yeah.
it's on Hollywood Suite. You can access it if you have Amazon Prime streaming in Canada.
Okay.
You can just go on there and search it. And then Hollywood Suite is just like it's an add-on, which is 1 month
Okay.
free subscription. So it's free. Amazon Prime streaming essentially.
Ah, all right. So Prime, people need Prime. I see, I see. And how's the reception been so far?
The reception's been really good.
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot of people are loving the world and think it's like a fun show and just really easy to watch. And that's kind of what I say to everyone. It's just something you can turn on and you're already on episode 5 and you don't even notice. So,
there you go. That's nice. That's good stuff. Well,
yeah.
thanks so much for your time today. Before I let you go, what do you think is the best thing about the show? Polly is the new monogamy.
You ask all these great questions. I'm not sure if I'm
I
prepared
try.
for.
Yeah.
The best thing about the show, I think it's super relatable. I think it's more relatable than you think it's gonna be from the title. So, yeah,
There we go. It's the realness.
it's the realness.
All right. Thanks so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was great chatting with you.